In this video, we will be performing operations with matrices. So, the first thing you need to notice is on the left-hand side of your calculator, right above the inverse button, is the matrix option. And since it's in blue, you always have to press the second button first. So we press second and the inverse button. And the first thing you do is you have a list of names. So these are all of the different matrices that you can enter. If we use our arrow to go to the next column, the math option is where you find all of the operations that we can perform, besides addition, subtraction, multiplication. And last but not least is the edit. So under edit, the first thing we need to do is actually enter in our matrices. So if you look at your examples, I have kept our matrices pretty much the same so we can reuse these values. So the first thing we want to do is press enter. And we have to give our dimensions of the matrix. So the first number stands for how many rows we have. So we're going to enter in this matrix first. So we have 2 rows. And we use our arrow button over. As you can see, it automatically updates. Right now it's a 2 by 1. So 2 rows and 1 column. But what we have is 2 rows and we have 1, 2, 3 columns. So I press the arrow button in order to come down. As you see, it automatically changes its dimensions. So we need to enter in our matrix, and you just type your number and you press enter behind it and it jumps to the next column. You always want to make a habit as well to go back and check the matrix that you entered. So matrix A is the first one, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next thing we want to do is enter in our second matrix. So what we're going to do is we're going to press second again, press matrix. It takes us back to the matrix menu. Once again, here's the first matrix that we entered, A. We need to go back over to edit. We have a matrix in A, so now we want to go down and put in our second matrix into option B. We press enter. And once again, we give our dimensions, 2 rows, 3 columns. Arrow over in order to get to the next line. This is a -2, so you want to make sure you use your negative button located at the bottom. We press enter in between each entry. So we go back and check just to make sure. So now we have both of our matrices entered. We need to go back to our main screen. So our main screen is the one where we do all of our regular operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So what we need to do is actually exit out of this screen. And the way we do that is using the quit option. It's above the mode button, and since it's above it in blue, we have to press our second button and then mode. So this takes us back to our normal window. So we have to tell the calculator, I want to take our first matrix, which was A, and I want to add to it our second matrix, B. So we go back to matrix. Once again, since it's in blue, we have to press the second button, inverse button, and now is where we use the names option. So we want A plus our other matrix B. So once again, you press the second option, inverse button, we want matrix B. We press enter, enter again, and it adds our 2 matrices together. So row plus column. So 0 plus -2 gives us our result of -2. 1 plus 5 gives us 6, so on and so forth. The next one we want to do is A minus B. So rather than going back to the matrix and entering in A plus B again, to duplicate our previous line, what we can do is press the second button and press enter. And what that does is it just repeats whatever you typed previously. So all I need to do now is to change the sign in between. I don't want addition. Now I want to arrow back and I want to change this to subtraction. So here's our subtraction button. Remember down here, this is our negative button. So there is a difference. You'll get a syntax error if you use the incorrect one. Or even worse, it will give you the wrong answer. So we press enter. So a minus b, 0 minus a negative 2. Our minus and our negative together make a positive. That's how we end up with positive 2. So on and so forth. 1 minus 5 gives us negative 4. Next option, I want our matrix A times our matrix B. So same thing, press second, press enter. It repeats the previous line. I want to change this sign, so we arrow key back, change it to multiplication, we press enter, and what you see is dim mismatch, ERR. So ERR stands for error, DIM stands for dimensions, and we have a mismatch here. So when you're multiplying matrices, you're multiplying each row by each column. So what you have to make sure is that your inner dimensions are the same. Matrix A is a 2 by 3. Matrix B is a 2 by 3 as well. So the inner dimensions here are not the same. So 2 by 3 and a 2 by 3. These two values have to be the same in order for us to multiply the two matrices together. And since they're not the same, we have an error of our dimension mismatch. So here's another example where we have a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 3. And what you notice here is that our inner dimensions are the same. So we will be able to multiply these together. So we have this matrix already entered, but we don't have this one. So process, same as before. We want to leave this, so we want to quit. We need to enter this matrix in. So second, inverse button. We go over to edit. We're going to put this matrix now in C. So you can press 3 or you can scroll down to 3. We have 2 rows. We have 2 columns. So this is a 2 by 2 matrix. And we enter in our entries. We press enter behind each one. Now, this matrix is matrix C. So we want matrix C times matrix B. We need to get back to our regular main screen. So same thing we did before. You press your second button, you press mode, and what that does is it quits out of this screen. So we want to tell the calculator, take matrix C, and we want to multiply that by matrix B. And now we actually have an answer for that one because our inner dimensions are the same. Here we're doing our scalar multiplication. So we have 4 times matrix A. So we just enter 4, multiplication sign, go back under our matrix menu. We want option A. So that multiplies 4 times each one of these. 4 times 0, 4 times 3, 4 times 1, 4 times 4, so on and so forth. Here, when we have vertical lines outside of a matrix, that's our determinant. So we're going to go back under matrix. Now what we want to do is go under math. The math column gives us all of our other options. So we want DET, that's our determinant, and we want the determinant of matrix C. So we go back to matrix again. We want C, so that's option number 3. We press enter, and we get our result of 10. So our determinant You take 3 times 4, that gives you 12. You subtract on the other diagonal. So 3 times 4 minus 1 times 2. So you have 12 minus 2. It gives us the value of 10. Last but not least, we want to take the inverse of matrix C. So we're going to go under matrix again. We want option number 3 for C. And we want the inverse of it. So inverse is on the main screen. You only press second if you want what's in blue, what's above the button. So we just press this button for our inverse. We have decimals. And what we can always do is go under our math button. First option is fraction. And we'll take that matrix with the decimals and change it to fractions.